Hi, I'll start here to show you my new electronic upright bass. This is a brand new model Allegro BS EUB string bass. The fingerboard, which I'm showing you now, structure and string length of this bass is the same as a standard upright string bass. The bridge is slightly different than it has 4 transducers built into under each string. And of course, a wire from the bridge goes through the bass and then comes into the preamp, which is in the back of the bass. This is the preamp area. And then that preamp is regulated by 3 controls: volume, mid-range, treble, and bass. And then, of course, the output comes from this wire at the bottom of the bass into the Harkey amp. This is a Harkey specialized bass amp, 15 amp, which I find is one of the better amps for using with bass. It gives a nice low register. So, now the bass also has some acoustical properties, and those acoustical properties are the standard string bass opening, which allows the sound to come out, but inside the bass there's also a sound post. So, I can turn the amp all the way off and practice with this without use of an amplifier. I don't know if you can hear that, but if the microphone were closer, you could hear that. So, moving to the back of the bass, there's a couple of interesting points about this bass that I think are important to demonstrate. One is the neck assembly, the total neck assembly of this bass can come off. And that's achieved by loosening the strings, turning this knob counterclockwise, which will release the neck from the bass, and it allows you to wrap the neck down so that this whole unit could then be put in a smaller box for either airplane shipping or for if you're in a car that won't handle the length. Also, another interesting point is that there's a battery that operates the transducers, and that battery is a 9-volt battery, and it's in this little box right here. And another area here for adjusting the preamp, like for trim pots are in here for adjusting the preamp if need be. At the very bottom of the bass, you'll see a knob, and that knob adjusts the end pin. So counterclockwise, the end pin will come completely out. Clockwise, you can tighten up the end pin to suit the level of the bass. I prefer to sit on a stool and play, and most symphony players do that. This is, well, let's see, what is the bow action of this bass, which it will do. You have to adjust the volume when you use the bow, because the bow really puts a lot of grit into the sound. To me, that really assimilates the sound of a real bass. So normally in my style of playing with jazz and big band, I usually use the bow at the end of a tune. Sometimes if a singer is singing a ballad, or a real slow ballad, I'll use that also. Okay, so next we're going to take a little break here while I set up the Real iPad Pro application to show you how I can practice jazz tunes. Okay, it's Al back again to show you the application that I use for practicing, and this would be the iPad Pro. And I'm going to open that now and talk about that a little bit. So what we have here is we have an app that has about 1,000 tunes in it, has different styles of music like jazz, swing, Latin, and I've picked out one tune here that we're going to demonstrate. But before we demonstrate that tune, we're going to talk a little bit about what this app can do. First of all, this particular tune is in A flat major, and that's the tune that was originally recorded in. You can change that key by hitting this button down here. You can change it to any key you want. You can change the speed by hitting this button. And then you can start the tune by hitting this button. So I'm going to start it and just to let you see how this thing starts up. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate this tune, All the Things You Are. And originally this tune, back in the day, was originally recorded at 150 BPM. It was originally recorded in A flat minor. So with this app, I can change that. I can change the A flat to a B flat or whatever. For example, that would be appropriate if we had a singer and she wanted to sing it in a different key, so I could do that. If she were not comfortable with this tempo at 150, then we could change that. So the melody is not written in this app. So in order to get the melody, you would need to get the real book, the real jazz book, and then copy the melody out to give to the singer or for an instrumentalist to learn the melody. And then this particular part of the app would help the player for improvising on these chord symbols. So right now we're going to demonstrate this as far as a bass player would play the changes. Playing around these changes using passing tones and this typical chord symbol, F7, B flat 7, E flat. You can see how the bass player can manipulate this. So like I say, any wind instrument player could use these apps. Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, folks, so that's basically it. I really recommend this app for anybody who wants to learn to improvise. And also, like I say, you would need to get a copy of the melody part of this. Okay, so that wraps that up. Thank you for joining.